good morning, afternoon. It's episode 31 already of Just One Thing. And recently I contacted, I think on Twitter, I can't quite remember, this lovely organisation, a company called Mud and Bloom. And they do subscription boxes to really encourage us all to get the kids outdoors and to enjoy nature and play with nature and learn all about the world around us. And I was so super impressed. And I really, really wanted to hear more about how this got started and how it's working. So I'm so completely thrilled to have Anja with us this morning, who is the founder and creator of Mud and Bloom. And she has a special assistant, as I sometimes have a special assistant who'll be helping us with this interview, who I suspect is the brains behind the operation. Good morning,
well, she wasn't born yet.
Tell us all about Mud and Bloom.
So I was working full time in London for a charity Water Aid. I worked in the charity sector for 16 years, and I resigned just over 2 years ago to spend more time with my children and to pursue my passion, which is gardening. And I enrolled on a RHS, Royal Horticultural Society course. And I was going to set up a gardening business. And at the time, I was also subscribing to a couple of craft subscription boxes, which I just thought were fantastic, where you get everything and you can just sit down with your children and do an activity together and spend some quality time together. And I was really surprised I couldn't find anything that was gardening related or nature related. So I just thought this is perfect. This is something that I'll set up. And so I launched Mud and Bloom last December, so we're almost a year old, and I've had such great feedback. It's been great. Lots of new subscribers are coming in every day, and it's a monthly subscription box that's nature crafts and gardening activities for 3 to 8 year olds. And the aim of the boxes is to help children connect with nature and get out into nature. So in each box you've got activities with normally there's two nature crafts. And sorry, this is my daughter. So normally in a box you've got 4 activities, 2 nature crafts and 2 gardening activities, although at the moment, because of the time of year, I've got 3 nature craft activities. And I provide some of the materials, but each activity involves children going out into nature and collecting some items, which is the point of the activities. And then the gardening activities they're seasonal, so through the spring they're planting vegetables and flowers, and at the moment we're planting bulbs, spring flower bulbs, and we've got single boxes and sibling boxes. So a single box is enough for 1 child to do the activities, and a sibling box is enough for two children. It could be more too. So yes, that's Mud and Bloom.
It's wonderful. So I have the November box, and I had a sibling box because I have 4. And my age range is about perfect, actually. So my youngest is 2 and my oldest is 9. So we were pretty much pretty happy. So I'm just going to show a couple of the bits because they're very nicely done. I can't show you what we've actually made because the girls have taken them to school. Because it fits in with the theme they're doing at school. So we did make some pine cone owls, and what I liked is that it's very clear what was in the box and what wasn't, if you know what I mean. I didn't have to faff about finding it. So everything to make these was there. We just needed scissors, which we already had. That wasn't hard. And the pine cones were the things we went out in the woods to find. So we enjoyed that one. We made some peg dolls. We enjoyed those very much. We've not yet made the leaf lantern, but that's only because we collected all our leaves, and then we had another project going on about tree identification, and they all got left outside and it rained. So we haven't made the lanterns yet. We have planted our crocus bulbs, and they've come with me into the shed in the hope that the sun comes into this window here, and we're thinking that will help us along a little bit. So and we No, we haven't done our fungi hunt yet,
Okay.
because I think we need to be in the woods. We've got some lovely woods near us, and I think they will be perfect for that. And as I say, the weather here has not been fantastic, so we haven't got there yet. But I love the variety, and I love that that there was, you know, all the kids could do it to their own ability, I suppose. So, you know, that my 8-year-old daughter's little peg dolls were much more sophisticated than my 2-year-old peg dolls, but they were essentially the same class. It was the same effort level on my account. But within their skills, they could all achieve something, and I quite liked that. I thought that was very clever.
Great. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of activities, and I don't think that everybody has to do every single activity, because I know that can be a bit overwhelming. You know, people are busy, and but I think it's just nice then people can pick and choose. And some people maybe don't have pine cones or close to them. I mean, I've had parents get back to me, so they couldn't find any pine cones. So yeah.
And also, you have to month, don't you?
Yeah.
Great stuff. So, do you see, is your current plan to kind of grow the subscription numbers, or do you want to change the actual boxes themselves? I think they're pretty perfect.
I think we'll continue with the subscription boxes. I've got ideas of other products, but at the moment I'm just focusing on the subscription boxes. I should also say that they're based on the philosophies of Forest School, Steiner, and Montessori education, and I've got qualified teachers helping me put together the activities. So each month we've got I've got a Forest School teacher at the moment helping me actually write the craft activities. But I mean, they can be used by everybody. But I like that kind of education where it's very much left for the child to use their imagination, and also using natural materials where possible.
I do find one of my parenting challenges is to not do things for the kids in the way that I would like them done, and that has been something I've tried very consciously to let them do it. And you know, if they want it to be a colour that I wouldn't imagine that was that colour, or they want it to have an extra head, or you know, I think we naturally want to direct, and it's really powerful to let children just do it in their own way, learn through that process,
and just step back and let them do it. Yeah. I mean, some of the activities parents do need to do, especially if it's a 3-year-old. The parent will need to help with certain things, and also because the activities have been developed for 3 to 8-year-olds, like you say, it's quite a big age range. So there'll be different, children will do them in different ways, and some, for example, the 3-year-olds might collect the items, but the parents might be, actually need to help with cutting out the bits of felt for the pine cones, for example. A 3-year-old probably couldn't do that.
Yeah, there were, I think it was the felt actually. I had, my kids seem to need things to happen instantaneously. And so I had kind of put them into different Tupperware. I'd got some Tupperwares out and I'd put the activities into different Tupperwares. So each of them could do something different. And I had pre-cut some of the items just because there's a meltdown if it can't be done immediately. So I had done a little bit of preemptive work. But it was lovely. I loved the natural aspect of it. I thought that was really nice. And part of what we're trying to do is convey to people how important the planet is. That if we don't make some really significant changes very, very quickly, and 12 years, isn't it? Which is shocking. We're all up the creek, and it's the kids that will pay. So I think it's really powerful to get them on board, and get them interested in the natural world and the kind of the order of things, the natural order.
Absolutely. And I try to make my boxes as natural as possible. So the materials, it's hard. I'm finding if any of your listeners or viewers know of any wholesale eco craft companies. I'm really always on the lookout for them. Just I'm hoping in 2019 to make everything compostable in my boxes. But at the moment, I've got, you know, for example, the felt is always 100% wool. All the wool is 100% wool or cotton. But it's the glue I've got a bit of a problem with. It's very hard to find. I haven't found any yet, so I'm on the lookout for it.
I do know. I've recently come across a glue, and I'm going to write that down before I forget, because I was so stunned when I saw it. I can give you the name of that. I've recently come across eco glue, because that is I mean, the amount of PVA glue in our house, it will probably never, you know, our house will never move or have subsidence or anything, because it's held together with children's artwork made of these awful products. But that's life, isn't it? We have to work with what we've got, I think. And you know, we can only do our best, can't we? In your work and your research and just being a mum and a family, have you come across any websites or anything that you think is really helpful in thinking about sharing the natural world with kids and that kind of?
Yeah, I follow quite a few in America, actually. There's Wilder Child, I love. I find her really inspiring. She's got a Facebook group and a Facebook page. The group's really good because it's just great for sharing and hearing about what people are doing all over the world to rewild their children and be outdoors. And there's also Mother Natured, an Australian woman I follow, who does lots of nature crafts, and really lovely nature crafts. So I follow her for ideas. But yeah, those are the two main ones I do for children's activities.
Do you think that there's a big difference in how we in the UK kind of work with nature and other nations? Have you come across that?
I think maybe that in America and Australia, they're more advanced with the kind of nature crafts and being out. I mean, the weather's different in Australia, isn't it? But there seems to be a lot of stuff out there on social media, especially in Australia, on doing things outdoors with children, doing natural activities, outdoor activities. So I don't think there's that much in the UK. I mean, the forest schools are really taking off. Which is great, and people are aware of the importance of being outdoors, but the education system isn't changing, and I find that really sad.
I agree.
Indoors so much, and just they're so tired after school that they don't even want to be outdoors, or and I think it's very sad.
Yeah, I agree. I remember when my oldest started nursery, and they had quite a strong forest school kind of motivation. You know, they were trying really hard to get them out, and I found it kind of sad it had to have a special name. You know, it sort of, shouldn't that be what we all do just normally? That should be normal, shouldn't it? That we sort of are outside more than we're inside at that age. And I'm glad it has a special name and it's been given, you know, power through that. But I also sort of think, wow, that surely should be the starter place, and we only come in if the weather isn't so good, or there's an activity, you know, like baking or something that needs to be indoors. I mean, we have a mud kitchen, and I know a lot of our friends who hate the idea of their children getting muddy. You know, they send them to ours to play because they know it doesn't bother me particularly. And I can kind of I have actually had a child visit who was sent with clean clothes, and I stripped them down and gave them a quick wash and put them in their clean clothes for them to be collected. Because really? They just didn't, you know, their mum just can't cope with mess, and I just found that a little bit extraordinary.
Yeah, no, it's so important. I mean, there's so many studies on the importance of showing the importance of children being in nature for their mental health and well-being, as well as obviously just being active and running around. You know, they need to, doing the exercise is so important as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, I work with adults in mental health, and that is you know, we know the value for adults of being outside, and that we sleep better. You know, if you want your kids to sleep better, then then chuck them outside as much as possible. It will help. Oh, it's
I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they have 2 boys. And if we don't go outside one day, I don't think I could cope with them really. We have to go outside every day.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's been really interesting to talk with you, Anja, and I have to say I was very impressed with the box. I think they're really excellent. I'm going to do a post about them, a review about them on the website. So and in that, of course, I will have the evidence of our productive times that we've spent with it. We really enjoyed it.
I mean, it's not the point. The point isn't making beautiful crafts; it's the process, isn't it? So don't worry if you don't have great photos of it.
No, it's totally the process, and it was nice because it made us we combined it with something else we were doing about finding different kinds of trees, and it did make us do a slightly different walk. It made us go to a slightly different place that we knew had trees. And then we remembered, we're very lucky where we live in the Midlands. There's just an extraordinary amount of green space. And we remembered a place we'd visited ages ago, actually, and hadn't been back to. And the kids were like, oh, it had all these trees, and it will definitely have these different trees. And so we actually had a whole family trip out to this lovely venue that we hadn't been to in a long time. So it kind of inspired just a general joy, really, of being outside, and it made us do things that just put that, tiny bit more effort.
Yeah, great.
It's lovely stuff. Right. I ask everybody, and I know that your time is precious and you're needed for mum work.
Yeah, sorry about the noise.
No, it's absolutely fine. She's gorgeous. I always ask everyone, because this series was started to try and help me not feel so overwhelmed with all the things we need to do and change. So I've just asked everybody if you could suggest one thing that families and real people could do that would help the world. What would your suggestion be?
I think just don't buy your children so many toys. It's not necessary. I think my boys just seem happier if they have less, to be honest. If we're outside and we can be they could be happy with sticks or with just something really simple. And I think that just people buy too many toys, and it's overwhelming, and it's not necessary, and it's bad for the environment as well.
I love that one, particularly at this time of year when people start to get a bit hysterical about what to buy these children who probably already have a huge number of things anyway, and we're kind of grabbling at straws to think what to get them. And actually our solution this year, which again I'm going to talk about more widely because it's a bit shocking for some people, our solution this year is we're not buying them anything.
Really?
Yeah, we're going on holiday.
Okay.
And we're taking the money that the 6 of us, they'll get presents from grandparents, but the 6 of us have decided that the money that we save throughout the year for the presents for us 6, we're having a holiday.
Okay.
And the kids are totally up for it. They were given a choice, and it was I never thought they'd say yes. So I genuinely hadn't thought it through any further than it was just a notion. And they were like, oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's great. That's great.
So yeah.
And they're not expecting it either, so it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always have a bit of struggle. I'd be happy just to buy one present, but my partner has a little bit more. Always wants to buy a bit more, but we do try to keep it very simple, and it's something that they need. It's not something that just for the sake of getting a present. So yeah, we're getting them each a scooter because neither of them have scooters. So it's
that would be cool.
Yeah,
I like that. What was interesting is last night I finished work quite late, and I was watching the TV, and there were all these advertising about all these and I felt this extraordinary peace because I thought, oh, I don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
It was a bizarre,
very
beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Right, before you get completely waylaid. You tickle. Oh, that was lots of fun. What a beautiful smile to end with. Thank you so much for your time. I've really enjoyed talking with you. I'll add some links. When I pop the video up, I will add some links at the bottom so that people can go and have a look at your stuff, because I think it's really lovely.
Thank you, Claire.
My pleasure.